What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here. Um, it was a pretty uh, sad day in the comic book community. I shouldn't even say that the comic book community. I should say the um, the art community, because Kim Jong-gi was so respected in the art realm, for just being a genius. I mean, really, if you look at his talent, um, his ability to draw from memory, uh, and just have an incredible amount of realism and accuracy with dimensions, how things are depicted in real life, and just to be able to do that, he was doing that. I think Naman Young and I, we featured his work on one of our videos one time, where he was just drawing from memory, and he was drawing like an engine part, and it was just absolutely incredible. And this South Korean artist, he's actually younger than I am. He's 47. I'm 48, and he passed away today. And the reports are that he was complaining of chest pain. He went to the hospital, and his condition deteriorated from there. There's no, I don't think there's a clear indication of what was wrong or what the condition was, but I'm sure more details will come out. But it was just a complete shock for everyone, because, again, 47 years old, and to lose such a talent. He just had so much more to offer. It's a pretty devastating loss for the art world. And again, I say the art world, but really, there's been an outpouring of support from the comic book community here in the U.S., and that was nice to see. I saw posts from Greg Capullo, Mark Silvestri, uh, just a lot of artists here, um, paying tribute to, really a legendary, sort of once in a lifetime uh, talent. So yes, just wishing his family, and of course, I'm sure the tributes will continue to play out over the coming weeks. But yeah, if you're not very familiar with him, go and check him out. I'll sort of have links, I guess, I'll add links to this video later, linking to his work. Um, there's been some big comic book news as of late as well. Todd McFarlane announced that there are writers now attached to the Spawn movie project. Writers Scott Silver and Malcolm Spellman, and there's a third writer. But these are significant writers. Scott Silver did the writing for the Joker movie, and Malcolm Spellman did the writing for Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So big movie guys, big, they know, uh, they kind of know the comic book genre. They're both writers for the genre of comic book films, and this just gives sort of more movement to this production getting started. And again, it's I think what's causing the delay is not necessarily anything to do with like studios not wanting to do the film. Well, I'm sure a lot of studios and Hollywood people want to see this movie made. It's just that it's sort of being tightly, loosely, because McFarlane said he's not going to direct it, which is a good thing. McFarlane should just kind of stay clear of. He can produce, he can give his thoughts, but he should bring in and the fact that again he has such high caliber set of writers attached to the film, along with Jamie Foxx, who would make an amazing Spawn, I think. He's got some big names attached to the project, so it's about him moving forward with this sort of recruiting process and creating the team, the casting, and it really, I think, at the end of the day, he's got to um, work with Hollywood people. He's got to work with the studios, and again, he's working with a small production company, but that production company has to get studio backing, because without that studio money, a movie's just not gonna have the weight or the distribution for that movie to be successful. So I think it's a little bit of a learning curve for Todd, and hopefully he relents some control of the movie and lets the studio execs in on the cut. So anyway, writers attached doesn't necessarily mean anything. There's no, there's still no clear timeline. We just have some names attached. So it was not that big of a announcement. I mean, it's significant, but it's still, I'm sure, years away from development. The last bit of news I wanted to share was, Paul Dano. He starred in the Matt Reeves Batman movie as the Riddler. And Paul Dano is actually a great actor. He's an amazing actor, but he's bringing his writing talents to the Riddler DC Black Label Riddler series. It's, I think, a 6-part miniseries. Paul Dano is going to be scripting and writing that comic book story. Well, he's got Jim Lee doing covers on that series now. And I'm really excited because, that just makes me want to get the comic book, because Jim Lee's doing art for it. Now, Jim Lee's not doing the interior art. I think they've got some other people working on that. But to have Jim Lee doing like Riddler covers and just a series of Batman related covers for a DC, again, it's a DC Black Label, so the art's going to be a little darker, a little bit more intense. I'm really excited about that. So that was just big news on my end. The fact that Jim Lee is now, he just released some cover art. Go check out his Twitter. It looks incredible. And so yeah, that's just sort of it on the news end. I guess the other big piece of news that we could cover, but it's just been beaten like a dead horse, is Hugh Jackman's return to the Wolverine character in the next Deadpool installment. So Deadpool 3 announced that last week that Hugh Jackman will be reprising his role as Wolverine. So it's kind of like an MCU. Deadpool's kind of entering the realm of the MCU, and this is sort of like it'll probably be the last Deadpool movie that Ryan Reynolds is attached to. Now, that's my own opinion, but like a big announcement like this, where you have Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman kind of doing sort of a fond farewell to their characters. That's how I see it. I can't see if Deadpool does enter the MCU. I'm sure they'll have Reynolds, um, appear in the movie as just sort of a cameo or just a side role, not a central role. But after that big event where Deadpool's introduced into the MCU for real as part of the MCU phases or stages. Uh, he's going to take a back seat, and then Marvel's going to develop the character with somebody new attached to it. It's been a good run for Reynolds. So, I mean, the fact that they bring in new blood for whatever plans they have for the character. I can see Deadpool so popular. I can see them transitioning Deadpool into his own ongoing series because I think that format would work. We're kind of like She-Hulk, the series where you just have the fourth wall is broken down, and it centers more on comedy and relationships rather than like action and whatnot. So anyway, in honor of that announcement, I've kind of littered today's wall with Deadpool and Wolverine covers. But yeah, let's get into the. So I have a small haul, and typically today's videos is about. It's going to end with me opening up this package here. It's a comic, and we ordered it off of eBay, and it was a little bit of a spec buy on my part. Not anything. It's again spec on my part. I don't think it's. I mean, if I was really going for spec, I would have gotten like Wolverine 88 or something, but something Deadpool or Wolverine related. But I don't buy into stuff like that. This is sort of, I mean, it is, I'm buying into it, but it's not that kind of spec. There wasn't any kind of major announcement or news. This is just something that I foresee has a lot of value and will eventually see a day like that spike that we saw with Wolverine 88 this week. But whereas that Wolverine 88 spike is likely to come back down, I think this spec or speculative buy has more long-term potential for just steady growth. And it did spike earlier this year. It kind of went back down, so I thought it would be a good time to pick it up. And man, it's just instantly becomes one of my favorites in the collection. And we're just going to go over it toward the end. All right, so because it's only a 3-book haul, so I've got 2 books here that I picked up, plus this third that off of eBay. So because it's such a short haul, I wanted to kind of go over more books, and I thought it'd be a great opportunity to go over the Neal Adams books in my collection. And we picked up a lot of Neal Adams books, so I think the last video I did is kind of really outdated in terms of the books we have now. Now I don't have, like, it's not a big collection of Neal Adams books, but I do really appreciate every book in my collection. And so we'll just go over the books, then we'll go over the haul, and we'll unbox the final book of the comic haul. So yeah, let's start here with, I'm going to go sort of back in time. We're going to start with the more modern Neal Adams books and work our way back to his more earlier works. And the first book we have up is a crossover, a Wildstorm Image crossover with Marvel. And that's what was great about the 90s. You saw a lot of these crossovers, just collaborative sort of one-offs. And I wish we could see more of that now. We are kind of getting an inkling of it with Spawn Batman, which I'm very much looking forward to. But we need more of that. I think fans would like to see more of that. I would love to see Batman go up against Spider-Man, or actually that's not, maybe Batman against Daredevil, right? That would be a great matchup, Batman versus Daredevil. But things of that nature, and again, we have X-Men and Wildcats, and this is a Neal Adams cover. And this is really the first project that Neal Adams and Jim Lee both had their names attached. Neal does some interior work, but it's mostly Jim Lee's art. And there's also two covers. This is the Neal Adams cover. Great cover there with Grifter, Jean Grey, and what looks to be the Brood aliens. As well as a Jim Lee cover of the Grifter, a cover of Grifter. So, great book to go out and get. Again, this, I think, has a lot of value if you're a Jim Lee and Neal Adams fan like I am. Scott Williams did the inks on this one. Just great 90s book. All right, the next one is we have Neal Adams here. This is Neal Adams' work on the Batman. Just the back cover. Just a series of Neal Adams Batmans, sort of in like a. I mean, they all look a little different, so that's Neal Adams art, Batman art there on the back cover. This is actually Batman black and white. I put the back cover facing forward because the front cover is also, it's a great cover by Alex Toth, but I just thought the Neal Adams cover deserved more. I just wanted to look at the Neal Adams cover, so we just reversed it. So this is black and white number 3, I believe, or number 4 from 2001. The next book is pure just 90s nostalgia and just an incredible cover of TwoFace by Neal Adams. Batman, annual 1990, number 14. Neal Adams cover. And, Neal Adams, he had a cover of TwoFace from Bronze Age, which was, again, really one of the best renditions of, or probably the classic rendition of TwoFace in the Batman run. And then he comes back in the same, really the sort of the same essence as that, but more like kind of grotesque there. Just an amazing cover there. And look at the tie and just the dichotomy of the suits. Yeah. And this is just a classic Neal Adams cover. Classic. Next one is one we picked up recently, and that is World's Finest number 245. He did a 3 cover issue, like cover run on World's Finest that goes 244, 245, 246. I am targeting 244. It's an amazing cover of Superman, Batman, and but happy to have this one as well. Nice big size 80 pages, dollar cover price comic from the Bronze Age, 1977 book. Just a great cover there. Martian Manhunter, just giving off that great Bronze Age vibe. Cover art, love it. The next book, another, just one of my favorite covers here, and it's Superman 307 with Supergirl dropping the city of Cantor and killing all those millions of micro-Kryptonians. So anyway, yeah, just a great cover by Neal, one of our favorites. And I'm going to show off the next book, and then we'll talk about my Neal Adams books at CGC. So this is my next book. This is a great Nick Cardy cover of Superman. And what makes this book significant is there's Neal Adams interior art on a story here, the man who could walk through walls. And Neal Adams is the artwork on it. It's a very short story. It's maybe like 3 or 4 pages, but just amazing. Just, his panel storytelling is just spot on. I mean, he's just one of the best. And, people just focus so much on his, like talent, but really, it's unfortunate he doesn't have more. He has a lot of books. I shouldn't say more. He has a lot of books out there where he's doing the comic book. But, like with all the work that he did on covers, I think they kind of spread him thin on what he can do on books. And I just wish, I'm sure a lot of you will agree as well. I wish we could have seen more. I feel the same way about Jim Lee as well. Jim Lee, like he's done some great runs on some amazing books, but it would have been nice to see more steady and like consistent work, not just a run here, like a year or two on a run here and there, but just sort of a longer. And the same holds true for like all these amazing artists like Mark Silvestri, Todd McFarlane. We could have had more of their work featured, where they're telling stories in the books, not just doing cover art. But they're busy people, and once you achieve a certain, I guess, level of success, you stop doing books. I guess that's the rule. But again, great interior art on this one. So this is a very special comic. I have currently 2 books at CGC, 2 Neal Adams books at CGC. One is his famous Superman cover, Superman 233, where he's breaking the chains, the kryptonite chains, and he's just doing this pose, right? The background's like red. It's an amazing cover, and that was submitted along with Action Comics 419. The 419 is a high grade cover, so we're hoping to get a really good grade on that one. And the Superman 233 is mid grade, but we're hoping for sort of the higher end of the mid grade than the lower end. So again, those 2 books probably aren't going to be back until like winter of next year, and so we just have to be patient with the CGC process. But we are getting those books cleaned and pressed and graded at CGC. So it's going to, and it's again, in the economy tier. So it's just going to take the lead time is just a lot longer for pressing, for grading, for everything. So we'll just try to be patient. But again, those two books are there. And after I sent the Action Comics 419 off, I picked up another copy of 419. This one's not as nice as that copy that I submitted to CGC, but it's nice too. I mean, this is, I'm thinking this is like a 7.5, or as the one I submitted, we're hoping for like an 8.0 to 8.5 on that one. So this one's still good. It's just got some spine issues, got a slight crease right there, and some rounded corners. Like just typical aging on a book of this age, but perfect for my collection. So again, I love this. Is probably my second favorite Superman cover in the collection. Jim Lee's 204 is number one. This is number two, but same holds true for where I rank the artists. Jim Lee's my favorite, Neal's my second, or top two, I guess. Favorite artists, and just happy to add another copy. I'll pick up this 419. I'm trying to get. We want to eventually get like a really high grade copy, but for now, just to have two copies, two, sort of higher, like DF copies, I guess you could say, is fine. I mean, again, if I do pick them up, I want to pick them up for a really, like a really good deal. I don't want to. I mean, I may pay, closer to book value for some of the Neal Adams books, but some of these are just getting way up there in value. So we're just going to try to pick up things that come to us via Unmyeong, the Destiny Fate thing. We're not going to press it. And I'm sure I've missed it out. I've missed my opportunity to pick up some of the more, collector sought out books, like some of the Batman keys, the Daniel O'Neil, Neal Adams run Batman keys there. But we're still hoping to pick some of that up. The next book is Batman 231. Just a great cover there. This one also, I think, would grade in the 6.570 area. Probably 7.0 with a press. It's a really good looking book, again, for its age. I'd say 6.5. Yeah, maybe even a 6 to 6.5. It's not a 7. It's just got a lot of little minor issues that I think would prevent it. No major creases, just a little minor issues. A lot of minor issues. This next book is just, again, a classic cover by Neal, Superman 243. And this grade is probably, like a 4.0. It's got a big crease down here. It's got actually multiple creases there. But for the most part, I think it presents pretty well. Again, with the press, it might improve. But again, just beautiful Neal Adams artwork. One of his just classic covers there. The Embrace. Okay, so got a couple more books left to show off. This is just the previous book to 243. I just showed off 243. This is 242. Just a great cover of Superman fighting each other. And I covered this when I picked up the book in an earlier video, but it's got some water damage. It's got water stains on the back, but still presents really well. It's got a little micro tear right here on the front cover right there, but presents really well. With the press again, it would present even better. I would put the grade at an even 5.0, maybe even a 4.5. Well, I know they kind of grade harshly on a water stain, and there's a big stain on the back. So, but on the front, it's not as evident because again, there's this yellowish cover there, so it just really, the water damage blends it. You really can't. You have to really peer in to see. There's like a line right there. You can see the line, but you can't really see, like it blends in so well, like, and there's a fire going on in the background, so it just kind of looks like smoke or something. Like they just really can't, doesn't really distract you from, you just can't tell there's a water stain until you really examine it closely. All right, we've got a couple more books left. This is Batman 219, just a great early Batman book by Neal. And Batman's getting pushed out of the plane. Just great sort of line work there to show the motion. He's falling over Washington, D.C. That's the Capitol right there. Capitol building. Just, this cover also is, I would put this at a 3.5, low grade, no tears, just a lot of creases, some fading here. There is a tear, sorry. There's a tear here. So this is probably closer to like a 3.0. But again, presents pretty well. And am I missing a book here? The next book is World's Finest 199. And this is a third race between Superman and Flash, with Batman holding the finish line there. Here they come, like he would be able to, if they're traveling the speed of light, I doubt he'd be able to even see them coming. But this is the hokey, cheesy covers from the silver. This is a Silver Age. Well, yeah, late silver, early bronze book. I just love the kids down here. The kids that are just like lamenting that, or celebrating or lamenting the fact that their hero won or lost. It's pretty funny. And okay, the last book is very special to me because it's really the first book we've added to the collection, like I mentioned, that has Neal Adams cover and complete interior art in the book, and that's Green Lantern 78. Now 76 is the one, the really famous one, the green cover. Green Lantern's has the lantern there with Green Arrow in the back shooting the arrow through the lantern. That's a $2,000 book, and it's the first book in that run, that Denny O'Neil, Neal Adams run. It's 11 book run, but they work together to write and do all the artwork for it, and man, just a great. And this is the third book in that run. Yellow cover, just a great cover, and I'm just happy to have a book now from the run. If I could pick up more, I'd love to, but these are books that are just a pretty penny. So we'll just take them as they come along. And I got this one for What did I get this for? $2. No, wait, yeah, I got this for $2. No. I'm gonna have to look at my notes again.